Hi, Harold.
Oh, hi, Mario. Do you hear me?
Yes,
You hear me? Okay.
perfect.
Yeah, good.
Oh, oh no, you know what?
What?
Your signal is not too great. I can
Oh,
hear and see you, but your signal started to show red.
I'm a little far from the internet. Okay, if it
But you,
goes
no,
out,
no,
I'll
no,
move.
it's okay. But
It's
you
okay.
always are there. It must be the heat.
No, actually, it rained. It got pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah, it rained. It rained for a couple hours today.
Oh, that's good.
Did it rain in LA?
Yeah, but very little. Not
Oh,
during the. I don't think during the day. Last night it rained.
yeah. Now it's only 90.
Ah, well, in my house the air conditioning is going, and it's set at 76,
Oh, 76. Okay,
and it's going.
where's everybody?
I don't know. I assume it was at 8 because yesterday my internet was down again.
Oh God.
And I called them up and they gave me for 4 days of outage $10 credit. And when I called them today, they said, well, after the outage is finished, we'll let you know if there's a credit. And they said it was less than 4 hours, no credit.
You can't live without internet today. It's impossible.
No, but you know what? I'm thinking maybe I should change to AT&T fiber.
Oh, yeah, I got a text from a guy today. He's installing fiber, but not where I am, unfortunately. Can you get fiber in your neighborhood?
In Formosa, yes.
Oh, okay.
So probably you can get also.
Yeah, they wanted to do it in my office, but it didn't work. But yeah, maybe in my house. Maybe in my house. Yeah, we'll see. Fiber is the
welcome
best.
back, Harold.
Hi, Kenny. Where are you?
Welcome back.
Hi. Where are you, Kenny?
Harold, where is your?
I gotta get a power cord, so I'm just walking through the house. You back?
I'm back. Yeah.
Harold, where's your office?
It's on Willoughby and Gower. It's right near Paramount Studios.
Oh, you're in the movies now.
Yeah, exactly. From my window, I can see the people lined up for Dr. Phil.
Oh,
They line up in the morning. There's a cemetery right there in Gower behind the Paramount Studios. It's a Jewish cemetery.
It's a Jewish cemetery.
Yeah, Base Oilem. Yeah.
Hollywood forever.
No, it's not.
They show movies on the graveyard. You sit on gravestones. It's really creepy.
The woman who used to live next to me, when she died, she was buried there because her husband was also buried there.
Oh.
Yeah. Mrs. Pearl.
A lot of Russian Jews who came here,
Yeah.
And lived in whatever West Hollywood or that area. They get buried there.
I think there's some older celebrities. And Rudolph Valentino is there.
Yeah, he's there.
Oh, but that's in the Hollywood Forever.
Yeah, this is how they changed the name. They changed the name from Base Oilem to Hollywood Forever.
Is it?
They changed the name. Yeah, they changed the name.
No, but you don't go in through Santa Monica. You go in through the side street.
Through Gower, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when it was sold to a couple of guys who decided to make it hip.
Oh, Mickey Rooney is buried there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mickey Rooney
But he was not Jewish.
No.
Hello, Harold.
Well,
Hey, Walter. Hey.
Shalom Aleichem. How are you?
I'm good.
How was the Holy Land?
It was very nice. No, I was not in Lakewood. I was in Israel.
Yeah. Okay.
It was
Yes.
very nice. Very nice. You know what? It's really busy. It's really hopping. It's fantastic.
Good. Good.
They were complaining at the airport they can't handle the crowds. They're
Yeah, I
short.
heard that.
That's everywhere.
I heard
London,
the whole
Paris.
story from you. I was on the last stuff, so I was listening.
Oh, okay. I didn't see you. I didn't see you.
No, I
How
listened to
long
it
did
on
it
the
take you to get through the airport?
2 hours.
2 hours. 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours.
Like
Yeah.
insult to injury.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen, we left 4 hours early. So the guy who drove me said, "You're crazy." At the end, I was right. It was terrible.
Was LAX okay getting there?
It was okay. They're doing work in the American terminal. So
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
to get your bags, they send you on a wild goose chase through the building, this way and that way. Anyway, it worked. It worked. But all the flights are booked solid. Yeah, it's booming over there. It's crazy. Every
The
restaurant's
rabbi
back.
was supposed to fly to New York with his family today,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, what happened?
They canceled his flight with 7 tickets. And like
What-
47 suitcases. You know what I mean? Like,
So now what? Here, drag
and
it
he
all
got
back
a flight.
home.
He's on the flight. He's on a night flight tonight. That's how desperate he is with all his kids. And
Uh-huh.
flying to Newark. So how will get to New York?
Yeah.
I can tell you that I was in New York this week. I went on Monday morning. I went for a wedding. Ernie, you listening?
Yeah.
I went for a wedding. I never had Kvitzas Derech like this. I left at 6 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning. I arrived in New York at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which was like very quick. And then last night I flew back and everybody got them canceled because I went for this wedding. A lot of people got canceled, never came to the wedding. And when I came home in 4.5 hours from Newark. That never happened to me in
Wow.
45 years.
That's fast.
So Ernie knows I was on the Daf, I was on the Tzubashir when I landed. So
Right.
See, it
It's
pays to
crazy.
fly private. It pays.
absolutely it plays to fly private. I can just tell you. So no, it was a beautiful wedding. It was a beautiful wedding.
Whose wedding was it? Who was it?
I went to the Sadigera's
Wow.
youngest son's wedding. And it
Wow.
was just an unbelievable way. I've never heard music, the food there. It was just a phenomenal wedding. Just really phenomenal.
All right. Shall we start?
We're on Kuvav 106, on Rabbanon. Chalitza mutes kshera. A chalitza mutes, it's like a mistaken chalitza. Ezohi chalitza mutes. Amreish lagish kol sha'omrim lo. Like, for example, let's say this guy doesn't really know halacha, and they want to fool him into getting chalitza. They don't want him to do yibum. So the chachamim say to him, "Chlotz uvekachata koinsa." Let the woman remove your shoe, and that's how you acquire her as a wife. That's a chalitza mutes, which means it's kshera. You tricked him into doing it, and it works, and the chalitza is valid. So, Amalei Rav Yochanan, what do you mean? Ani shoyne ben shniskavinu v'lo niskavnehi, ben shniskavnehi v'lo niskavinu chalitza subsulat shikavnu shneim ke'echad. You taught us the halacha, the name of Rav Yochanan, that both the man and the woman have to know what they're doing. They have to have kavanah for the chalitza. If he didn't know what was going on, how can you say the chalitza is kshera? The Adam chalitza is kshera. Ella, the Gemara says that's not what a chalitza mutes is. They tell him, listen, let her take your shoe off. She'll give you $200. And he goes ahead. And in the end, she doesn't have to give him the $200. And the chalitza is a good chalitza. The Gemara will explain how this works. They tell the guy, listen, let her do the chalitza to you, and she'll give you $200. Bezdin saw that there was a woman that fell to Yibum he was like 15 years old and she was 80 years old. So they knew that this wasn't good. So they wanted to choreograph a chlitza. So Amr lo chlotz la menashe tita l'chom esayim zuz. Listen, let her do chlitza on the condition she gives you $200. Ubo maislef ne Rav Chia v'chshira. And the halacha came to Rav Chia and they were machshir her to get married to anybody she wanted. Ahud also kamed Rav Chia baraba. Amr l'chabiti amoidi. She came to Bezdin. When you do the chlitza process, you have to stand up. Amrlei, so she said to him, Amy Shivasa Zuam he Amidasa. I would rather not stand because I don't want Yibum. Amrlei Yodatle, do you know this guy? Amrlei in. I know this brother, Mamoyna Uda Chazila. He sees that I have money, and he wants to do Yibum with me because he wants to eat my money. Amr la lo nichalach. What, you're not happy with that? Amr le lo. No. So first they told the guy, Amr le chlotza, let her do chlitza v'kachata koinsa. And you'll marry her that way. Now, l'basur d'chalotz la Amr le. Now, they knew that is not a completely good chlitza, but it's enough of a chlitza that it starts the process where he's also to be miyabim her now. So now do a correct chlitza. So you can matter her to get married to other people. The halacha is the chalitza is ksheira k'tev Rabbi Yochanan if you do this trick. But we try to get her to pay the $200, but it's kosher even if he doesn't pay. And if it's one of those cases where Bezdin feels that it's a chiyuv to do chlitza and he didn't want to do it, and they tricked him, then she doesn't have to pay him anything. Like the ma'aseh that took place in front of Rav Chia because he was not l'shem shamayim that he was going to do the yibum. He was doing it because of money. Bas Chamud Rav Papa, the daughter of the mother-in-law of Rav Papa, Nafal Fnei Yavim Shein Hogim. Again, it was a situation where Bezdin didn't like the chances that this would be a good marriage. He was too old, or she was too old. Also, by Armelech Chlotzla. So first the buyer said, try to trick him and say, let her do chlitza because that's how you'll acquire her. Rav Yochanan already paskin that that's not a good chlitza. So what should I say? Tell him, allow the chlitza on condition that she gives him $200. And they did the chlitza. So they said, okay, give him the $200. It was just an exaggeration. Somebody was escaping from jail. And there was a river with a boatman that you had to pay him to take you across the river. Varmalei told Dinner Vavireni, and the guy who was escaping said, I'll give you $1,000, take me across. So if the normal fee is $5, that person only has to pay $5. Alma Armalei Mishatani B'cha. So a person can say, listen, it was just a guzma. Same thing here. Armalei Avucha Hecha. Here's a strange story. Abaya asked Rav Papa, where's your father? He lives in the city. Imechecha, where's your mother? Amrle b'masa. So Abaya understood that the parents of Rav Papa live near the city. They must be giving Rav Papa a stipend. Therefore, he's not worried about business. And therefore, he can study the laws and be matzliach. Abaya put his eye on him. Yov ba'ene. Abaya felt bad. He had a little tsar because Abaya was an orphan and poor. Ushchiv, and he gave him an ein hara, and they both parents died. Rashi says avu avime. So there's okay. Tana Rabbanon. Chalitza mutes ksheva. This trickery in chalitza is kosher. Get muta, which will explain what that is, puzzle. If you try to give a get that way, if the Tanai is not miskayim, then it's not a good get. Chalitza meusis, a forced chalitza, like you force him to do it, psula. But get meusa, a forced get, is kosher. Vehechidami. Idam roitzani. Let's say you beat him until he says roitzani. So that's fine. Chalitza nami, the chalitza should be kosher as well. Vila omer roitzani. If he didn't say rotzani, get nami lo, the get shouldn't be good either. So what is it? Achi kamer. Chalitza mutes lelam kosher. This trickery chalitza is always kosher. The get mute and this trickery in get is always possible. Chalitza meusis, the get meusis, a forced chalitza and a forced get, zimnin kosher, zimnin possible. Sometimes it'll be kosher, sometimes it'll be possible. Hada Omar Rotzani. If he says, fine, I'll give it, then the chalitza and the get are good. Hada Lo Omar Roitza. If he doesn't say Roitza Ani, then both by the get and by the chalitza, it's not a good get and not good a chalitza. Titania, where do we learn this from? It says in the pasuk by Korbanos, Yakriv Oso. If he made a vow to bring a korban, you can force him. You take money, you forcefully collect assets from him and you buy a korban. Yachol bal korcha, what? Against his will? Talmud Lomar l'rtzono. No, it says he's got a want. Hakei said koifno sachi yomerotzani. You force him until he says, you twist his arm until he says rotzani. So they come into Bezdin, and we don't know who these people are. If they want to do chalitza, you don't have to check who they are. You do the chalitza. Memani nafal b'shein makirin. Similar, if a woman and a man come in to do miyun, even we don't know them exactly, we allow the miyun to take place. Lefichach, ein koisven get chalitza ken makirin. Now, in order for Bezdin to document what they saw, they can't write a document unless they know who they are. Vein koisven get miyun elim ken makirin. The halacha is Bezdin has to be makir the man that this is the brother and this is the wife. So we don't agree with the psak that we just said. The halacha, the Rambam is you only do the chalitza when you know. Same thing with miyun. You got to know who they are. And after they do the chalitza, Bezdin writes a note that the chalitza was done in front of them. And even if the Bezdin didn't write it, if there were two Eidim there who saw it, they can write the document that they saw the Chlitza take place. Even if the Eidim don't really know who the Yavim are, because we have the halacha that Bezdin will not allow the Chlitza unless they know who it is. So we rely on the din that the Bezdin investigated who they are. So the Eidim can eventually write a document, same, and Koisvin get miyun. If they see the Bezdin conduct a miyun, Eidim can write a document, even if they don't recognize it, because again, they rely on the Bezdin. The Chayshin LeBezdin Toyim. So the Bezdin doesn't write a document if they don't know, because could be the Bezdin didn't know what they were doing. However, Rava today Omer ein chotinam ken makirin, and we paskin like Rava. The Chlitza is not good unless you know who they are. Vein umani elam ken makirin. Lefichach, koisvin get Chlitza afal pi makirin. If two Eidim witness the event, they can write it down, because we assume that Bezdin did it correctly. The koisvin get miyun afal pi makirin v'lo chashin lebezdin. Okay. Kuf vav bebeis. Mishnah. Mitzvahs Chlitza. So this is actually how the Chlitza is done. Bahu v'yimtim lebezdin. The woman and the Yavama and the Yavim come to Bezdin. Ve'ein masiyin lo eitza ho egenes lo. And they give him advice. Should you do Yibum? Should you do Chlitza? Why do we see this? Shenemar, v'karu lo ziknei iro v'dibru elav. They call the Zikanim and they talk to him. Now, after they did talk to him and they decide they're not going to do Yibum. So he oimeres, the dialogue starts. She says, Me'ein yivami, la'akim la'achiv shem Yisrael lo avayabni. My Yavim is refusing to be making him the name. He doesn't want to be miyabim me. Lo avayabni. V'hu oimer, lo chofatzti lekachta. I don't want to take her. Uv'lashon HaKadosh, they have to say in Hebrew. Then, v'niksha yivimto elav, le'einei azkenim. The woman approaches the man while the Zkenim are seeing. V'chaltza na'alon araglon, removes the shoe from his foot. V'yarka b'fanav, and has to spit sort of opposite her face, not in his face, but opposite his face. Rak hanir l'dayon, they have to see the spit. And they have to see it all the way from her mouth to the ground. Then, the answer of Amra, she has to read again. Kacha yeyaseh la'ish asher lo yivnes beis achiv. Ad kan hayu makrin. And the Chachamim would read to them what they had to say. Ukeshihikru Rav Hurkinus tachas ha'ela b'kfar Eitam, the Gomer is called a parsha. When Rav Hurkinus did the reading, he would finish the whole parsha. What's the rest of the parsha? It says, "V'nikra shmo b'Yisrael beit chalutz anal." So it became a chazaka. Hulzilos gorim kol parsha. V'nikra shmo b'Yisrael beit chalutz anal. Now this mitzvah is b'dayonim, to say beis chalutz anal. The dayonim have to say it. V'lo mitzvah v'talmidim. The rest of the people there, no, the dayonim have to say it. Rav Yiraymer mitzvah kol ha'oimdim sham loimer chalutz anal. So Amir mitzvah chalitza koira. She reads first, right? Me'en yivami. V'korei, he reads lo chafatzti lekachta. V'choletza, she removes the shoe. Then v'roikaka, she spits. And then v'korei, she reads again. Kacha yaseh la'ish. Now, my kamashman, what does Ravi have to tell us this? This is the Mishnah we learn. Ha kamashman mitzvah hachi. It's a mitzvah namufcher to do it. But the apech, if they did it in reverse, leslan ba, it's not a problem. If the chlitza was done before the spitting, if the spitting was done, that'll make a difference. You don't have to repeat it. It all works. The person reading to the litigants what they have to say, he shouldn't say, they have to say, the words are lo ava yabmi. He doesn't want to be miyabimi. Lo ava yabmi. So the person should not say lo ava yabmi. There shouldn't be a delay between the lo and the ava. And actually, it should be said b'neshima achas. Lo likre l'dido lo l'chude v'aba yami l'chude. The mashma ava yabmi. You could understand from there because he wants to be miyabimi. Ella lo ava yabmi. In one, the three words have to be said together. V'lo likre l'dude lo l'chude chavasti l'chude. Same thing. When he says lo chafasti l'kachta, you shouldn't read to him lo, say chafasti, say l'kachta. No, you have to read to him lo chafasti l'kachta, like harei at mikudeshes. You have to read it to him properly. Lo chafasti l'chuda. The mashma chafasti. Ela lo chafasti l'kachta. Rav Amar Afsuke Milsi Vafsuke Milsi Leslimbo. Rav said we don't have to worry about all this. However, the Rambam paskins like Abaya that you have to read for them carefully. Lo chafasti v'vasachas, like Abaya. The Ramah says Yeshoimim shetzrak sheid b'kum b'shas chalisha tikru lo ava b'neshima achas. V'chein amin gam l'gabe lo chafasti.
Is that part of Yalkadam?
No, because even Rava is moide by the lo ava b'neshima achas. The Rambam says, "Melamdim es hayavama vayavim likro heitev, ad sheyedu shneim likro karoi, v'tu chaloimer lo ava b'neshima achas. Shegam Rava moide b'zeh." So it's probably not included in the Yalkagam because it's not really machlokes, because Rav at least admits to that. Rava only is choylek b'di'evid. Amr lay. Oh, sorry. Ravashi Archel Rav Kana to Kimitzar Makri Law Ava Yabmi. That Ravashi found Rav Kana was very careful reading to the woman Law Ava Yabmi. So Amr lay Lo Savarle Marla Hada Rava. Understand? Don't you hold of Rava? Rava didn't say. Rava said it makes no difference if you said Lo Ava Yabmi. No more. Amr lay, here it comes, Kenny. Moide Rava below Ava Yabmi. That Rava admits that Lo Ava Yabmi has to say B'neshima Achas. So Rav admitted to that, agrees with Abaya. It's a good question about the Yalkagam. It's not one of the Yalkagams. Amar B'Hayman the cause of Gita the Chalitzasa. Person who wrote Edus, he saw in Bezdin that they saw a Chalitza, Lichtov Hachi. They should write Akri'unu L'Didah. They read to her Min Me'ed Yavami Adavayabmi. Vakrinu L'Dideh. They read to him Min Lo Chafatzi L'Kachta. Then Vakrinu L'Didah. They read to her Min Kacha V'Klutza. So they write what was read to them in the Gef Klitza. Marzutra Mishartet. Marzutra was careful to write a whole parsha with sheer to it, like straight lines because of the Kula parsha. Muslim of Marbaridi V'Alo Nid and L'Kosev. You're not allowed to write a parsha. You have to write a whole Sefer Torah. That's a kavod to Marzutra. Even so, since there's a mitzvah, you can write this. Amar Abaye, Rakaka uklatu aruach. She spit and the wind carried it away from his face. Lo asta v'lo klum. It's not good. Got to repeat it. My time of Yarka b'fan of Bina. Hilkach, hu aruch v'hi gutza. If he's tall and she's short, and klatu aruach, and the wind took it, eka b'fanav. Because the moment the spit left her mouth, it was in front of him. The problem is, if she's tall, he aruka v'hu gutz ba'inin adamati la'ade ape v'hader azil. They have to watch the spit fall so it's opposite his face till the ground. Amarava achla tuma v'raksa. If she ate garlic and spit, or achla gargishta v'raksa, or ate this was something, dirt. It was some kind of medicinal thing, which so lost of klum.
Chewing tobacco.
So it's not a good chlitza. My time of the yarka ma'atzma being a veleka. The spit has to come from herself, not if something else, chewing garlic, caused her to have spittle. That's not good. The dayoni have to see the spit emerge from the mouth. They have to see it.
We said yesterday that blood in the mouth, it's good because it gets together with the liquid in the mouth too. Same way here.
Unless we said it's like pouring blood, then it's not good, because that could be the blood could come without any spittle. Here, Allah is saying we need her to develop the spit from herself. She can't take a sucking candy or chewing gum. She has to get the spit from herself. It's not, if there's blood with it, that's not a problem. But she can't chew on something to develop spit.
So if you take a glass of water, it wouldn't be good then.
No.
Okay, we said that yesterday, yeah.
The Dayanim have to say it. Tanya Amrav Yudah Pamachas Ayinu Yoshim Lefnei Rav Tarfon. Ubasu Yivam Alachlotz Varmalano Anu Kulchem. All of you answer Chlotz Anal, Chlotz Anal, Chlotz Anal 3 times. Interesting. The Baalei Halacha don't bring that. So absolutely, the Rambam says, "La'achar sha'isha omeres atzof haparsha mitzvah kol ha'oimdim shem loymar chlotz anal shalosh pomim." And she has to say the same thing. So, like sometimes by a wedding we say mekudeshes, mekudeshes. Here we say chlotz anal, chlotz anal, chlotz anal. Okay. Hader lach mitzvah chlitza, hader lach mitzvah chlitza, hader lach mitzvah. Shkoyach.
Shkoyach.